All right, I had talked to the director at Stone Branch about my little collection of different instruments and the missed opportunity at Play Favorites when they briefly had an accordion. And she said she had a couple of them and brought one in and handed it to me. These are fairly cheap if you can find them in a thrift market, but they could get kind of expensive if you buy them online. So, now this one is actually pulled apart because when I was there, it had dropped. So I have opened it up, trying to figure out how to get inside. So you can see this is the top, and it went like so, and you can see one of the butterflies that needs to be glued back. And there's just 4 little screws, and yeah, so all this and these buttons, it's very simple. You just control the little flaps, and you can get to the buttons in the back by taking off this panel, and then there's another screw back there, so it's 4 screws. And then so I was like, okay, maybe I can get to the bellows from the other angle. And I took off the bottom, and it had these rubber screws. So the last thing I did, and I didn't really want to mess with it, but there were these pins that go there, and they are very difficult to take out. There's no, what do you call it? No threading. I tried sliding a screwdriver under there. I finally got these wire cutters, and the number 10, I was able to wrap around it, and you know how it's beveled there, and kind of squeeze in and then pull out and work it out. So that did the trick. Now, and this was gasket, or whatever, the air valve gasket thing I'm going to call it, that was broken in many areas around. And this is nice. It clips in there, but let's take that off. The cool thing is, looking at this, you can see the little flaps. An accordion works in both directions, just like a harmonica. And I was noticing these white and black papers. So that's I didn't know if that meant anything, as like the piano key, sharp keys, or the black and white keys on a piano. Some of them don't have flaps, so apparently they have fallen away over time, I believe. And there's the ones on the back. Some are missing flaps as well. 2 on the end there. The same 2 on the other side. Maybe that's intentional. Yeah, it's mostly with airflow, air pressure. All right. So what did I hear? Because I could hear a lot of rattling, and I found these pieces were all throughout here. And it's like here. So this is the long one. That fits there. But then I'm like, well, does it matter where these 2 fit in? And apparently this one has 2 holes. But I think what's going on with the 2 holes is it's the same flap that's letting both chambers be used. And it might not really matter too much about the ordering, in that if I get it wrong, if I pick up somebody else's accordion, it's going to be, I'm going to have to reverse the 2 fingers, or no, actually it's going to be like 3, no, just 2. Anyway, so I'm going to probably just glue these in, and then see if that changes anything. I didn't notice anything when I practiced with it, when I first picked it up, with the different buttons on the end, and it might be that these were already broken. And because one was really wedged into the side. But you know, she said it was very, very cheap for her to get, and just wasn't using it, and she had another one, so and she offered to I think she offered to just get the other one, but I now know what the problem is. I have a fix, and I'll probably get some. There's a special compound I can use that's like a liquid gasket that I can put around here and create my own gasket to improve this. I'll glue this back on to be fully, that corner is coming off. And yeah, I've seen one video where somebody decorated theirs to be like a steampunk accordion. And when this dropped, I was telling the director, I was like, "Oh no, this is another project that I do not need." But it's a quick diagnosis. It didn't take me long to pull it out at all. But yeah, I'll have to figure out what kind of glue to use, because this is a combination of metal and plastic. You know, just do a little bit of research, maybe order something. Hell yeah. All right. Oh, and some of these might need to be felted. Or the felting was coming off of some of the... Was it coming off some of the keys up here? Or no, I think it came off... Yeah, the felt flap was coming off. So that's why I'm thinking those might have been missing. But I didn't see anything else in here. Although one of these metal pieces was very deeply embedded in the cracks. So it might be another felt piece is somewhere inside of one of these. But if anything, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this to work. But if I couldn't, I could always use this for the barrel organ, because a bellows is very useful for me. That's a big project of my own. I'm wondering if I could use this somehow to sort of invent my own. That's a more easier organ to make, just buying a tool. Because okay, so let me explain something about the pipe organs, or the barrel organs. Barrel organs, you have to buy plans from over in the UK, and the plans are not great. And unfortunately, the guy has passed, but a lot of people have made their own variations based off of his plans. And his plans are meant for, you know, common materials found around the house and whatnot. But I'm thinking like, hey, if I can use existing bellows from something like this, from a known, easily accessible product that is way less than I've seen people sell his organs for like $1,000 to $3,000. But if you can buy the parts for far less and get something working, because you even have this, so it's not going to be as loud as the organ pipes. It'll have that more I mean, I've got a lot of ideas now, because the whole thing with the barrel organ is it's programmable in that you run a roll of paper through it, and if I could somehow wire this up and keep changing direction of air somehow, or account for that, because this plays as you push air and pull air. I'm just thinking how it would be a very unique setup. That and the reduction of how loud would be more pleasant for people so we're not as close to the what's going on. I'm getting ideas. Yeah, because the main thing would be figuring out how to get the paper to go over this, and I would have to have an airtight compartment for the slit would be here, and the paper would go over this, so all these levers would be essentially gone. Unless now, I was thinking I could maybe make something that presses these, but that is too much pressure. I just need to control the airflow here with that paper. But the spring action is helpful to keep pressure down on the paper, or at least on the sides. Yeah. All right. I do not need another project. In fact, the director just contacted me today about a 200 selection music / video jukebox, recommending a Raspberry Pi, and I'm like, yes, you can do that. And here's the video of the guy who did it, and the guy didn't really know what he was doing, but at least he got it done. But there were a few elements that he used that I was familiar as well. But too many projects.